present again. Just let me know. మీరు అందరూ స్క్రీన్ చూడగలుగుతున్నారు కదా?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. So now if you see Azure DevOps, it was there in the market from 2018. So 2018 will be the right answer. So Balaji said 2015. Just a second. Yeah. So Balaji said 2015. It was right, but he should start. Azure DevOps was there in the market from 2018, but before that also it is there in the market, but the names are different. It used to be called as Visual Studio Team Services, Visual Studio Online. So the on-premise version used to be called as TFS, but the cloud version is called as Visual Studio Online and Visual Studio Team Services. Later in the 2018, it got renamed to Azure DevOps Services. Why you need to answer like this? People are trying to join late today. Yeah, okay. So why you need to answer like this? Because it's not like multiple choice answers. If someone asks you that from which year Azure DevOps there in the market, if you say 2018 and stop, the interviewer's ego will not be satisfied. He is expecting something from you. So the way you are answering will be, the interviewer should say, okay, stop. That's enough. That's how you need to answer the questions. You shouldn't say that, okay, you asked me some question and I'm answering you like 2018, done. The interview might be expecting something from you, but you are stopped. You are waiting for the next question. Sometimes these lengthy answers will help you, but sometimes not. Again, I'm saying, sometimes these lengthy answers will help you, but sometimes not. It all depends on the question of the interviewer. So what he is expecting and what you need to answer. Okay. And another thing, it's like next question. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. So the next question will be, what is this, guys? People are late today. So many joining late. Yeah. The next question will be, what are the different deployment models in cloud? What are the different deployment models in cloud?
Public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud.
Wow. Any examples? Guys, I muted everyone. So if you are saying answer, please unmute yourself. Any examples for public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud?
Sir, Azure is the hybrid cloud and IBM is the private cloud.
So who said Azure is the private cloud?
Azure is hybrid cloud, sir.
Okay.
And IBM will be the private cloud. Sir.
Then what is public cloud?
I think AWS.
Okay. Any cloud platform which is allowing you to go and create an account is called as public cloud. Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud, Dell, HP, Salesforce. Any cloud platform which allows anonymous user. You may be from any country, you may be using any account. But if you are able to create an account in a cloud platform, then the cloud is called as public cloud. There is no restriction. So all the cloud providers in the market are called as public cloud providers only. Azure, AWS, GCP, Oracle, IBM, Alibaba, Salesforce, VMware, anything is public cloud only. Private cloud is something like your organization cloud. If you are working in Wipro, if you are working in Accenture, if you are working in HCL, any organization, your organization will have their own cloud. That is called private cloud. Why? Because other than your organization employees, no one will be allowed into your cloud. So if you use the cloud, you should have your organization account. When I say organization account, it's like @Infosys.com, @Wipro.com, @HCL.com. But if you go to Azure or AWS, no need of any account. You can log in with Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Reddit Mail. Even you can log in with your organization account also. He will allow you. He will allow you unless and until your organization may have separate agreement with the same cloud platform. For suppose in my company, we are using Azure Cloud. So if I try to log in with Azure Cloud in my organization account, obviously it will take me to my private cloud only. So I can access AWS Cloud or any other cloud with my corporate account. Okay, then hybrid means, both, mix of both. So in your same company, you can use your Gmail or you can use your corporate account, or in the public cloud in Azure. As I said, in Azure, you can use both your Gmail account or corporate account. So all the public cloud. So when you call it as hybrid cloud is something like mixing both public cloud and private cloud. Hybrid cloud is something like mixing private cloud and public cloud. So how you can mix private cloud and public cloud? Your organization may have something, okay, your organization may have something which needs to be accessed to only your employees, which needs to be accessible to only your employees. Then they will host the same thing in private cloud, and the same organization have something to share with the entire world. The same organization, it has something to share with the entire world. Then they will host it in public cloud. So both private cloud and public cloud will be there within your organization only. In those scenarios, we call the cloud as hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but it may be Azure, it may be AWS, or it may be your local account, anything. The purpose, whatever you are using. If you are allowing all the people to the cloud, then that is public. You are not allowing the people to the cloud, then it is private. So hybrid cloud is something I already shown you. If you consider this as a data center, you consider this as data center. Within the same data center, some servers may be public. That means anybody can access. Some servers may be private. Nobody can have access, but it's like something only some people can access. But if you want to keep something in public so that everyone can log in and see, and you want to keep something in private so that only your company employees will see. Okay. Now, to give you a better example, one of the organization. Okay, this is one of the organization. Now here, if you see, this website is public. This website is public. So this is literally hosted on public cloud. This is literally hosted on public cloud. But when you want to apply something, okay, when you want to apply something, it takes you some other website, and there it will ask you to log in. There it will ask you to log in. See here, it is giving sign in button here, but here in this page there is no sign in button. It's all about browsing the website only. It's all about browsing the website only. No sign in, nothing. But here you can sign in. That means they are allowing you to access their pages. But to access their pages, you need to log in. So if you want to apply any job, you need to log in. Without login, you can't apply. But to browse the jobs, you no need to log in. See here also, to see the jobs. Let's say I have something to search in India. I'm able to see all the jobs. Whatever jobs are available in India, I'm able to see. But if I want to apply, if I want to apply, if I open, unfortunately no DevOps jobs in DXC. So if I want to apply, I need to log in. So immediately it asks to log in. Apply manually, use my last application or something. So this is kind of hybrid cloud. So DXC is managing something in public cloud and something in private cloud. Okay, so good. The deployment models you are clear. So what are the service models in cloud?
IaaS, PaaS, SaaS.
Okay. Any examples?
And IaaS, it comes under infrastructure, sir.
No, I want examples. You got the right answer, but I want examples.
IaaS, virtual machines, VNets, subnets, and network security groups. These all comes under IaaS. And storage account.
Okay. Then PaaS. Okay. So service models, deployment models. These two are two confusing concepts in cloud. Deployment models are types of cloud. Service models are types of services. Sometimes students will get confused. Service models like public cloud, private cloud, and deployment models like IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. Okay, IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. It's not IaaS. It should be called as IaaS. Okay, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Infrastructure, hardware. Infrastructure means hardware. It may be a hard disk, server, network, router, storage, anything. So infrastructure, nothing but hardware. So you are renting, you are taking rent for their missions. Their missions, they will provide you empty missions. They will give you a hard disk. So hard disk in the sense, they will give you some space, 100 GB, 1000 GB, 1 lakh GB, any TBs or GBs of data. So you can keep any files. So before keeping the files, you need operating system. So if you want operating system, you need to tell them, I want operating system. So operating systems comes under PaaS, platform as a service. Okay. So now you have infrastructure, the entire server with the some 100 GB space, that is IaaS. Now you need Windows OS or Linux OS to copy your files from one drive to another drive, then that is called as PaaS. Now your file is an audio file or video file or a Word document or text document. You need a software to access that. If you have an audio file, if you want to listen that file, you need Windows Media Player. If you have a video player, you want to see the video, what is the video inside the video, you need a VLC player or MX player or any video player software. Or if you have a Word document you want to open, then you need MS Word or WordPad or any Word document software. That is called as software as a service. So IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. Only servers are IaaS. Server with OS is PaaS. Server with OS and some softwares installed is software as a service. Okay. Now Azure DevOps. Okay, Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps also comes under one service model. Azure DevOps also comes under one service model. So what is that service model? Azure DevOps comes under which service model? Anybody have any idea? Azure DevOps comes under one service model.
I think IaaS is infrastructure as a code.
Infrastructure as code or infrastructure as service? You are confusing. Both are different.
Codes, sir. Codes.
You mean IAC, infrastructure as code?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Azure DevOps comes under infrastructure as code. Any other answer?
SaaS, software as a service.
Is it Danu?
Rajesh?
Yeah, okay, Danu. Yeah. So here it clearly says Azure DevOps is a software as a service tool from Microsoft, SaaS service model. Because see, generally in previous times, what used to happen? People used to download this TFS server. Okay, download this TFS server, and they used to install using their local machines. Now what happened? They converted this software into cloud service, and they installed on the cloud. Now you no need to download, you no need to install. It's already installed on the cloud. You just need to go to this portal and log in with your account. So you are not managing the server, you are not managing the operating system, and you are not installing this Azure DevOps manually. So there are some servers where there is operating system, and on top of that operating system, this Azure DevOps is already installed. You are just logging in and using it. Everything is being managed by Microsoft. So as per this picture, remember this picture. When everything is being managed, see the red color means service provider manages. When everything is being managed by the cloud provider, then that is called as SaaS service. The best example for SaaS is we are using it from last 12 or 15 years. The best example for SaaS in current scenario is your Gmail account. I think everybody will have Gmail account. So your Gmail was a SaaS service. Google providing SaaS service to the entire world at free of cost. That is Gmail, SaaS service, software as a service. They are providing the mail account as free service. So you are not installing Gmail. If you take your mobile, you need to install Gmail. Okay, if you take your mobile, you need to install Gmail. If you delete Gmail app, then you can't access Gmail. But if you take your systems, you no need to install Gmail. You just need to install browser. If you install the browser, you can access your Gmail account for free of cost. So they are providing a SaaS service called Gmail from last 15 years, I believe. Maybe 15 years or 20 years. Gmail is there in the market before 2000, I believe. So Gmail is the best example for SaaS. Windows operating is the best example for PaaS. And your empty server, your empty laptop, the first laptop which you buy without OS, any drivers, nothing. So the first laptop you buy is example for IaaS, infrastructure, platform, SaaS. So you purchase laptop, you install OS, you install applications, everything is like on-site. You are doing everything. So you took laptop from some other people and you install, that is infrastructure. So this is all about infrastructure as service, platform as service, and software as service. Okay, how many of you got account? How many of you created your Azure DevOps account? So if you already created account, please open your laptops and open this portal. And if you already have a project, open that project as well. So today I will explain you the options. First, you need to log in into your account. So first you will create a project. Now what I do, I will create a sample project. So I'm creating a sample project. So I name it as first project. The same as description. I told you if you want to use it for your purpose, go for private. If you want to keep it open, go for public. So I'm going for public, and then I want to use the version control as Git, and I want to use the work item process as Azure. So I'm creating a project. Create project. And if I'm not wrong, if nobody has created the Azure DevOps account, while creating there will be an option. You better choose it as wise. Now if I go here, when you are creating your Azure DevOps account, it will ask for your, just a second. Yeah. If you go for organization settings, so it will ask for the region, time zone. While creating, it will ask for time zone. I mean region and time zone, both are different. So better choose any nearest region. So I choose South India, and my time zone is UTC. I can change this time zone. So I'm I'm using US time zone. If I go for India time zone, it's like UTC plus 530. Okay. Save. So I changed the time zone. Better choose India time zone and choose nearest data center. These are like data centers. I already shown you the data centers in India. For Microsoft, there are I think 3 data centers: Central India, South India, and West India. Okay, Central India, South India, and West India. Central India is Pune, West India is Mumbai, South India is Chennai. These are the 3 data centers for Microsoft in India. For AWS, they have 1 data center in Mumbai and they are planning another data center in Hyderabad. So the work is already started. You can expect the data center very soon. If anybody is from Hyderabad, they are constructing in Nanakaranguda, Gachibowli Financial District. We have a very big office for Amazon. we have a very big office for Amazon in Nanakramguda, Gachibowli Financial District. They are going to construct new data center. Okay. So when you create an organization, better choose right time zone and right region. So once you create an organization, the first thing you need to create is first project. So here I have created a project. I am entering into my project. Please observe each and every button on this page. Each and every button on this page. If you know answer for all the buttons, there you got at least 20 to 30% of the knowledge from Azure DevOps. If you can answer each and every button, what is this button, what is this button, what is this button, that means we have cleared 20 to 30% of the subject. You have cleared 20 to 30% of the subject. See, I have created a project. Okay, I have created the project. By seeing the project itself, I can say whether it is public or private. Why? Because it will display clearly here. It is public project. It is public project. So once you create the project, later you can change this visibility. It's not like that. While if I go back and if I create here, so while creating, I can choose anyone and I can change this later. That's not a problem. So by mistake, you created private, you want to change it public, you can do. Or by mistake, you created public, you want to change it to private, you can do. So don't worry about the visibility. You can change in future also. So this is public. Okay, but one thing you cannot change after the creation is the process. The process. See here, when I go for new project, these controls I cannot change after creation. I cannot change the version control to Git, or I cannot change the version, or I cannot change the work item process. If you want to change this work item process, you need to delete the project and create another project. You need to delete the project and create another project. I will show you here. So this is the first project. In the left side corner, okay, in the left side corner, you will have project settings. You will have project settings. In the right side corner, someone trying to join now. Yeah, okay. So in the left side corner, you will have project settings. In the right side corner, you will have user settings. Okay, this is user setting button, guys, and this is user login details. Don't get confused. This is user settings, and this is user login. Sometimes what happens, people will go here and they will ask me, where is the sign out button? Sign out button will be on your identity. This is your identity. Okay, this is your identity, and this is user settings. So right side corner you will have user settings, left side corner you will have project settings. And if you want to go to organization settings, first you need to go to organization page, and then you will have organization settings. If you are inside the project, you will see project settings. If you are inside the organization, I mean the top page of the organization, you will see organization settings. Now I'm going inside the project and I'm going to project settings. Okay, this is nothing, guys, just to collapse and expand. This is just to collapse and expand. Just an arrow mark. So if you want to hide, you can hide. If you want to expand, you can expand. And this is project settings. So here in the project settings, see, this is process and this is visibility. By mistake, if I created in public, I can change it to private. Save. But I cannot change this work item process. You cannot change this work item process. Cannot change this work item process. So in future I can change. Now if see, I created as a public. Now I will change it to private. Save. Now if I go to home page, so now it got changed to private. Earlier it is public. Okay. Tomorrow if you join your organization, these are all things you need to observe on the first day itself. Maybe you get access late. If you are joined organization as Azure DevOps engineer, you will get access to this portal maybe 1 week or 10 days. But the moment you got access, first you will enter into your organization. There may be many projects. There may be many projects. Sometimes what happens? They will give you access only to this one project only. So then what happens? You need to go to the project and see if you have administrator access, what are all the services you are able to see. Everything you need to observe, whether this is public project or private project. Most of the times in your organization, all the projects will be private only. Why? Because they want to limit them to your employees only. It is public, anybody can see. Last week we have already seen. I have created some public projects. If you get the URL, you are able to access the public project. But if it is private, first it will ask for login. Okay, so I can change the visibility, but I cannot change the process. I can change the visibility, but I cannot change the process. Now, while creating, you may thought, okay, you are the only person using this project. But after some days, you might have, okay, my friend want to use my account, or my friend want to join my project. So if they want to join your project as a user, okay, if they want to join your project as a user, you can invite them from here. You can invite them from here. If you click on this invite, you can invite them. So these are already part of my organization. Okay, they are part of my organization, so they are getting automatically my names. But if I want to add someone, let's say if I want to add Balaji, okay, balaji.balu@gmail.com. So I can send invite. Okay, I can send invite, and I'm adding them to this team, and I'm adding them to this team. So Balaji has not been assigned an access level. We will attempt to assign stakeholder. Okay, we will assign. So default accesses, I will tell you what this stakeholder access later. So this is how I can add people to my project. But I want to make them as administrator in my project. So in that case, you need to add here. In that case, you need to add here. So in the home page, if you add them, they will be added as a stakeholder. In the settings page, you can add them as an administrator. Okay. Basically, there are three types of access available. There are three types of access available. Those access you can see at the organization level. Someone trying to speak? Nothing.
Can we make stakeholders as admin?
Yes, we can change it.
Okay.
By default, if you add anyone into the project, by default, they will get as stakeholder access only. So stakeholder access is the starting access. It's like reader. Then after stakeholder, you can change them to basic access. Okay, here I will show you. If you go to your organization settings, you will have users options. Sometimes you will get interview question, guys. So can I delete users or can I modify users inside the project? Okay, inside the project, you will not see any option called users. There will be no users in your project. If you want to add users, okay, if you want to add users, you need they should be added in the organization level only. And another thing, here you might ask me, here I'm inviting to my project, right? Okay, when you are inviting to your project, first they will be added to the organization only. First they will be added to your organization only. So here if you see our users, see I have all the users. I have all the users. Okay, the access level is basic, stakeholder, and there will be another access level. If I try to add some users, see the access level is basic, stakeholder, and Visual Studio subscriber. Stakeholder is the starting access. It's like reader for all. Basic is something they will have control. They can create some repository. They can modify something in your project. And Visual Studio subscriber is it's a separate Microsoft license. It's a separate Microsoft license. Sometimes what happens, you might have purchased something from Microsoft. You might have purchased something from Microsoft. Then you will become Visual Studio subscriber. These people will have some additional access. These people will have some additional access. But in general, you can add either stakeholder or basic. Now, once you add a person as a stakeholder or basic, then you can convert them to administrator on the project. You can convert them to the administrator on the project. So here also you can add administrator. See, this is organization owner. On the project, you might have seen project administrator, but here this is organization owner. So I am the owner of my organization. So I can add users, I can delete users, I can do anything. Here, if I want to edit something, I can delete this account. Okay, this is not using anywhere, so I can delete. See, I can change the access level. Now this is basic. I can change the access level, but I want to delete this account. Remove from organization. Yes. See, I removed one user. Now I have only 4 users. Because how I am able to access? Because I am the owner of this organization. I can add users, I can delete users, I can do anything. Okay. We will see the settings later, but right now we are seeing the project settings. So inside project, these are the project, and I can add users from here. Once I add the users, I can make them administrator. See, if I want to add administrator, I will see all my users. See, these are my users. Srikanth, Rajesh, Raghu, Naveen. These all are my users. I can make them administrator. So first they should be added as users. Then I can make them administrators. And about this project, we already seen. So the project will have 5 different services. If you want to use all services, keep them on. If you don't want to use the services, you can turn off. So I don't want artifacts. I don't want repos. Now, if you go back to the projects, you will see only 3. Why? Because I turned off repos and I turned off artifacts. Now I will turn on those services, repos and artifacts. Okay. Now I'm seeing all again. So if you are done with your project, okay, if you are done with your project, you can delete your project. You can delete your project. Sometimes what happens, you will delete project by mistake. And one of the reason, most probably no user will get access to the settings page. If you join any organization, you will not get access to the settings page because the settings page will have every option. The settings page will have every option. You can turn off the services, you can delete the project, you can change the access to the users. See here we have permissions tab. You can change access to the users, you can create a separate group. Anything you can do, even you can change the visibility. For now it is private, I can change it to public. I can add some other administrator. There are many options under the settings page. So what happens? Most of the times you will not get access to the settings page. As a user, if you are DevOps administrator, then you will get access. But as a user, you will not get access. Okay. If you delete this project by mistake, okay, if you delete this project, I can restore this project within 28 days only. Within 28 days only. How? See here. Further, you need to go to organization page and go to organization settings. And here, see, I have some projects recently deleted. I have some projects recently deleted. So projects that appear here will be permanently deleted after 28 days. That means within 28 days, see if I select this, see I'm getting restore option. I'm getting restore option. Which one you want to restore? Which one you want to restore? I deleted this yesterday. Yesterday only I deleted this project. These are like demo projects I created for previous sessions. So I deleted these projects. So I can restore. If I want to restore, I can restore. I can restore for next 28 days only. After 28 days, this is permanently deleted. You can't restore. You can't restore. But if you want to restore even after 28 days, sometimes what happens, you might have deleted some projects. After 28 days, you want to restore. In that case, you need to reach Microsoft support. You need to reach Microsoft support. Here we have contact support. Okay, contact support. And when you contact support, you need to tell them all the details. This is my organization name and this is my project name. By mistake, I deleted this project and I have seen that change after 30 days. Okay, by mistake, I deleted this project and I have seen the change after 30 days. Now I want to restore the project. There are chances. I'm not sure that 100% you can get it, but there are chances. If you reach the support, they will help you. And they will help you only when yours is a paid account. Paid account means something like your organization account. This is public account. I'm using it for free. I'm using it for free. How can I say this is for free? Further, you need to go to organization settings. Organization settings. There you will see an option called billing. Billing. So there is no billing setup. The billing has not been set up for this organization. Okay. Billing has not been set up for this organization. Access will be available up to free limits only. Access will be accessible up to free limits only. That means whatever is free, I can use it for free. If I want to go beyond free, I need to pay. When you want to pay, you need to set up the billing. You need to set up the billing. But right now I'm happy with the free limits only. I don't want any paid limits. So that's why whenever I delete some projects, I will leave it. Why? Because it's easy to create projects. I can create any projects. There is no such limit. I can create any projects. Okay, now I am going to. So this is the project. I can change the visibility, but I cannot change the projects. I can add any administrators. I can turn off any service and I can delete the project. Even if I delete by mistake, I can add it. I can restore it within 28 days of the deletion date. So the left side bottom corner, you will have project settings, and the right side upper corner, you will have user settings. And if you want to see the organization settings, you need to go to the organization page. So these three settings are very, very important. So go to organization settings, see what are all the information you have. Go to user settings, see what are all the buttons you have. And then go to any project. Go to any project and see project settings. What are all the settings buttons you have. Okay, this is all about settings. Now, if I go to project home page, the left side I have multiple sections. This is overview. This is boards. This is repos, pipelines, test plans, and artifacts. And inside every section, again, I have subsections. So in overview, I have summary, dashboard, wiki, boards like work items, boards, backlogs, sprints, queries. And I believe some of you might not see these delivery plans and state visualizers. These are like additional extensions. But to make it clear, let me remove those additional extensions. So extensions is a separate project, separate concept. I will tell you later. But to make it simple, I just want to remove those. Okay, this is delivery plans, uninstall, other, continue with uninstall. Then state visualizer. Okay, state visualizer, uninstall, other, continue. Now if I go back to coordination, first project. Now see these are the options only available. The remaining two options I removed. They came because of the extensions. Okay. Boards has work items, boards, backlogs, sprints, queries, and everything. Every button will take you to separate page. Every button will take you to separate page. So if you click on the button directly, it will take you to the first option only. If I click on this directly here, I'm not going to these options. If I directly click on this, it will take me to the first page, work items page. Here, if I click on this direct button, it will take me to files page. Click on this, it will take me to the files page. See files. Then pipelines. Now, if I want to go to any other page, I need to go here and I click on this. So here I will click on queries. Now it took me to queries page. So everything is again separate page. Everything is again separate page. Releases. So these all are options in test plans also, but test plans is something like paid service. I'm not using, so I will get some. I think I won't get nothing. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything because test plans is completely removed. Now test plans is not giving for free. You need to pay. Okay, and artifacts has no options. Artifacts is single page. There are no internal options. So these all are the available services. And we have already seen, you go to settings, you can turn off only these 5 services. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cannot turn off overview, even if you turn off all the services. Overview will be still there. See, overview is still there. And you are able to see summary, dashboards wiki. Summary dashboards wiki. You cannot turn off overview because overview is the first page of your project. Overview is the first page of your project. The moment you create a project, an overview will be created. So without overview, you cannot see the project. Without overview, you cannot see the project. That's why overview you cannot remove. Now I'm again enabling those services. Okay. So when I'm talking deep into the section, I will explain you what is summary, what is dashboard, what is wiki, and we will have a separate section for each module. So for overview, we have a separate section, session. For boards, we have separate session. Repos, we have separate session. Pipelines, we have separate session. Test plans, artifacts, for everything, we have separate session. So this is all about the portal home page. Try to click on every page and every button. So this is some button. This is some button. Okay, this is to contact support. This is the button and this is user settings. And inside this also I will explain everything. So don't worry, for settings and we have separate session. And this is your login. You can sign out from here. You can sign out from here. Okay, so I expect every one of you to create Azure DevOps account, create an organization, create a project. So if I go and start explaining things, I expect you to try whatever I am saying in the session. I expect you to try after the session. For that, you should have an account. So without account, if I say something about summary, something about dashboard, something about wiki, and next day I will jump into board section. So if you want to learn something in the dashboards or wiki or summary, you should have some account. So that's why I ask everyone, please create an account, and then we will start going into the sections. So what is overview, what is boards and everything. And coming to the settings options, create an account and browse everything in the settings. Go to organization settings, see what are all the buttons we have, and go to projects, and again go to project settings, see what are all the links or clicks we have, and then user settings, see what are all the things we have. Some things you can learn by trying itself. See here, if I go for theme, there are some color themes. There are some color themes. If I choose this, it will turn into black. This is custom. This is see the color changing. Green, black, ash. There are some themes. So something which you can try on your own. You no need to wait for me. You no need to wait for me. This is like user settings, notifications. I will explain everything. Let me have white only. White is better for me. Okay. White is better for me. Okay. And this is marketplace. I will explain you what is marketplace. We will see deep into marketplace. What is marketplace and where we use marketplace. Okay. And then if you want to invite, you can invite. You can change the visibility. And this is all about navigation, organization, first project, then overview, summary. And if I go to dashboards, so this is organization, first project, overview, dashboards. And if I go to queries, see the navigation, organization, project, boards, queries. So the navigation, you can see the navigation here. So if you want to highlight this, then you can go for theme and choose some other color. See the navigation highlighted in some other. It's like menu bar. This is like menu bar. Okay. These all are like the options. And you will not see this CI/CD dashboard. This is again like additional extension. You will see up to deployment groups only. So if you create an account, you will see only up to deployment groups. CI/CD was again an extension. Okay. This is like any workers or anything you want to have. So try to create an account, try to create a project, and try to browse all these options. So from tomorrow, we will see what is overview, and the first section we will jump into overview only. Okay, first section we will jump into overview only. Okay. Oh yeah.